Bonjour mon petit chifle, Amber here, and happy August. Let me sit back because I look naked and I'm not. I promise I'm not. See? So today I am starting, I'm sorry, my laptop keeps sliding. Today I am so excited. I am starting another themed reading vlog. I'm starting a new series on this channel where I go through and tackle full, I guess, backlogs of authors' books. I have 3 authors in mind for the start of this series, and in this episode we are starting with Zoraida Cordova. I have been collecting Zoraida's books and it's time to crack into them. So this month I have 5 Zoraida Cordova books to get through, starting with the Labyrinth Lost trilogy. I have actually read the first book, so it's cheating a little bit, but it's been a while, so I'm currently actually listening to the audiobook to brush up before going into Brujaborn and Wayward Witch. I finally ordered the final 2 books in this series, so of course now these don't match the first one, but that's okay. And then I plan to read Incendiary finally. I don't have Illusionary yet, and we'll see where I'm at by the time I get through these to see if I have time to try to squeeze in the sequel to this. And then I'm going to read The Inheritance of Orchidea Divina. I've heard nothing but good things about this book, so I'm super excited. So I'm really excited to get started on this vlog. I've wanted to really get into Zoraida's books for a long time. I really like her as a person. We follow each other on Twitter and Instagram, I believe. Funny story, we've been in the same room multiple times, but I don't think we've ever actually met in person. I hope that changes soon. Yes, like I said, I'm currently listening to Labyrinth Lost. I have about 2 hours left of the audiobook. The audiobook's pretty short, so I've just spent like yesterday really listening to it. That's where I'm at right now. Also want to pop in and say, since this is August, I did finish reading As Darkness Strange and Lovely yesterday by Susan Dennard. This is a Zoraida vlog, but I did want to say this because I did read this month. I started reading it at the end of last month, but I don't think I talked about it. So I finished reading this yesterday. My thoughts about it will be in my wrap up. So yes, welcome to this new series. The other 2 authors I intend to do at some point are Sylvia Moreno Garcia and Taylor Jenkins Reid. So probably those will happen in 2023. I think I want one of my first TBRs of 2023 to be the Taylor Jenkins Reid, because I think we get The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo and Daisy Jones in the 6 next year. Yeah, so I would like to read those before watching them, and I definitely need to read Daisy Jones because I'm definitely going to see the movie, because Sam Claflin, you know, Finnick, my guy. Right, welcome to August. That was a lot.
This is Audible.
Recorded Books and One Click Digital present Labyrinth Lost by Zoraida Cordova, narrated by Almarie Guerra. Part 1. The Bruja. Chapter 1. Follow our voices, sister. Tell us the secret of your death. Resurrection Canto. Book of Cantos. She is the sky when the night blazes. Rezo de la Estrella, Lady of Hope and all the world's brightness. My mother used to pray to La Estrella.
Good evening, besties, for me and Beyond Snow's pop female vocalist. I felt this was the appropriate shirt to wear while I'm waiting for my Renaissance box to come. Anyway, I wanted to pop in really quickly because I finished Labyrinth Lost last night, the audiobook, and I don't have too many thoughts because it is a reread, but my thoughts are pretty much the same as the first time. This was a really fun story. I love that family is the heart of the story. I love the importance of family and sisterhood, and also like tradition. They're holding to their tradition and culture and stuff. I wish that the series carries on with this story, because I am really curious what would come next through this storyline, and through Alex's POV, especially with like Rishi and Nova. But alas, each book follows a different sister. So we move on to Brujaborn, which is Lula, Alex's older sister's book. I don't really remember what goes on in this one, but it is it says 3 sisters, 1 spell count. Oh, back up. If you don't know, Labyrinth Lost follows Alex Mortiz, I believe that's her name, and she comes from a family of, she's a Bruja. She's an Incantrix, which is like the most powerful of the Brujas. It's a once in a generation power, except she doesn't really have access to her magic. The story starts right at Alex's death day, which is sort of like a quinceañera for the Bruja. I'm coming! She hates her magic. She wants to get rid of it. So the day of her death day, she enacts a spell to rid herself of her magic, but in turn it goes very wrong, and her entire family vanishes into thin air, and she must go to the magical land of Los Lagos, this magical island, to rescue them and defeat the Devourer, I believe that's what it's called, who is trying to destroy Los Lagos and gain power and all that jazz. So anyway, like I said, this story picks up in Brujaborn with Alex's story. It says 3 sisters, 1 spell, countless dead. I say Alex, Lula, it's Lula's story. Lula has healing powers, so I'm really curious to see how that becomes a thing in here. It says Lula Mortiz feels like she's an outsider. Her sister's newfound Incantrix powers have wounded her in ways that Lula's Bruja healing power can't fix. And she longs for the comfort her family once brought her. Thank the Dios for Max, her sweet, steady boyfriend, who sees the beauty within her and brings light to her life. Then a bus crash turns Lula's world upside down. Her classmates are all dead, including Max. Oh my god. But Lula was born to heal, to fix. She can bring Max back, even if it means seeking help from her sisters and defying death itself. But magic that defies the laws of the Dios are dangerous. Afternoon, I'm going to try to do this in 12 seconds. I am 180 pages into Brujaborn. I'm enjoying it so far. I will say this is heavier. Okay, I was not able to do it in 12 seconds. Anyway, I'm 180 pages into Brujaborn. I'm enjoying it, but like it feels, I guess, heavier than book 1. Book 1, there was like that fun sense of adventure on Los Lagos. This one, we're still in Brooklyn. This one, there's a lot more danger going on, or a lot more peril, I guess. I guess we're family, and getting the family back was the center of that book. This one, still the family is still the center of the book, still the driving force of the book, but there's a whole more like romance element, I guess. It's interesting to see the shift in dynamic between the sisters in this book, where Alex is like starting to feel, as she's come into her powers, more of the older sister, even though she's not, she's the middle. They like depend on her a lot more now. But yeah, I am intrigued by this what are they called? The Casi Muertos? Thanks, mommy. Also, poor Lula is just going through it. So in this book, and yeah, I'm finally sitting down to read for today. So hopefully I'm going to get to hopefully read 100 pages today. If I stay on this schedule, I should be finished the book by tomorrow. Good afternoon. I am having a weird day, so hello pajamas and hello, this is what I look like today. But I finished reading Brujaborn yesterday, and I ended up really enjoying this. It's very different from Labyrinth Lost. I mean, obviously each book follows a different sister, but it's even like the style is different. I mentioned before, different? Why did I say it like that? I mentioned before how this one felt like sort of heavier. There's not the same sort of like fun adventure, magical adventure as in the first book. This one is a little darker, is not the right word, but there's more at home, more, I guess, more slightly intense things going on. It's just a different book. I feel like this could have been a standalone, honestly, and I'm sure that's intentional. I feel like they're written that you probably still should read them as a series, but if you read each sister's book separately, you could still follow that particular book. Now I move on to Wayward Witch, which is Rose's book, and the way this book ended, and we're finding more about Rose's powers and like the truth about her particular magic. I am really interested to finally get into this. That's all I know. I don't know at all what the plot of this book is. Oh, I'm sorry, I can't tell you what the plot, what I just read, because that's a spoiler for the rest of this series. This is gonna be intriguing. Okay, so I'm gonna go because I've been talking too long in this clip, and I feel like I'm not saying anything, so I will get back once I've actually started reading Wayward Witch. I remembered some things I wanted to say. First of all, ooh, that's on my face. First of all, from reading the synopsis on the back of the book, this kind of feels like we're going, I don't want to say back, but to like a similar vibe as book one, especially with sort of like the multiple realms and the portal travel and the adventure aspect to it. Each book definitely matches the vibe, or each matches like the personality of the sister, or in particular what they're going through, if that makes sense. Like book one is like more about self-discovery and accepting powers and, you know, discovering the depth of Alex's magic. In book two, Lula is dealing with a lot of like trauma and like I guess grief to an extent, and dealing with trying to hold on to herself and loved ones. And so in this book, like I said, we're going into a similar vein in book one. I'm just curious how Rose will continue to develop as a character. Oh, can I also say I love how Nova is still a part of this story, how he is entwined in these stories. There was something else I wanted to say, but I can't remember what it was, but it was about this book. Oh, I also like that as each book, as we go forward in the story, each book there's like the addition of supernatural creatures and different supernatural or like fantasy, I guess, creatures that we just associate with like fairy tales and like folklore and whatever. Worlds. The thought literally, you just watched in real time that thought leave my head. Excuse me. In this book, I guess it's not really a spoiler. We're going to like the fairy realm, so that should be a lot of fun. So yeah, I'm gonna stop dawdling. I'm gonna go back in there. This one is Never Forget Where You Come From. Oh, I didn't even read what like the little taglines are. This one is One Way or Another, Death Always Collects. So once again, like the heavier death theme. Let's see if I can read I don't have the first one with me right now. Let me see if I can read it on the back of this book. No. Good afternoon. It is very hot outside. And I just took a very cold shower because it's very hot. Anyway, today is the 13th of August. I'm on page 120 of Wayward Witch. I have not read in 2 days. I have not been feeling well, but feeling very pale is the way I describe it, because when I was dying back in May, my mom kept saying, "You're so pale." So that's what I associate with that feeling. But that was the past couple of days, and I just couldn't lift the book, focus on the book. It was exhausting. So today the plan is to dive back into Wayward Witch. It is moving a little slower to me than the first books. I guess we're finally starting to really get to the action, or to find out what's going on. But yeah, I'm hopefully gonna be able to read 100 or so pages today. We'll see. Here's hoping. Good morning. Yes, I said morning. It is 10:30 in the morning, and I'm awake. I just finished therapy, actually. That's the thing I'm doing now. And I went to pop in. Since I'm awake, I'm going to try to get started reading earlier. I don't know why, but I am struggling with this book. I don't know if it's me. I don't know if it's the book, but I can't really focus. I'm struggling to focus on it, and it's starting to really grate my gears. Is that a phrase? I don't know. It's starting to irritate me. Grind my gears, I think, is the phrase. Grate my gears. Anyway, I haven't been able to read. I didn't even try yesterday. We went up to the store to get dinner. Also, please hold. Would like to introduce you to my new babies, my new kiddos, Munson and Buckley. I generally name my plants after whatever I'm watching at the time, or have watched recently, except for cacti. Cacti are always named after deserts, in case anyone cares. But yes, we've got Munson and Buckley after Eddie Munson and Robin Buckley. And that's really the only update that I have in my life right now. I think I'm gonna make myself some coffee, and then I'm going to get comfortable and get some reading done, or maybe I might take a nap, who knows. I'll keep you updated, perhaps. Good afternoon. It has been many days since I last checked in. I've finished a book, I've started another book, I've been to the Ren Fair. It's almost September. Happy Virgo season. Today's like the first day of Virgo season. I'm in my prime, and it is my time. I'm elevating into my final form. So last time I talked to you, I believe I was reading Wayward Witch. I have finished Wayward Witch, thus completing the Brooklyn Bruja series. I can't believe I'm finally finished this series. This book was really interesting. Like I've been saying, each book it really captures the individual voices of each sister, and the theme and the writing style of the book really reflects the journey that each sister's going on. In this book, Rose is really stepping out of her sister's shadows. She is also coming into her own and facing, I guess, the anxiety of being the good Mortiz girl, one who hasn't messed up with her magic and whatever, but she's also discovering the truth of her magic and trying to figure out how to use it and not let it use her and destroy her. And this, we follow her reconciling with her father and building that relationship, since she's really the sister that kind of really missed out on having him in her life. We are in this fae realm in this book, which is interesting. It's a lot of fun, which brings back some of that magic and fantasy that was in the first book, but was kind of, for me personally, lacking a little bit in, not lacking, but the second book didn't have the whimsy is what I think I'm looking for. I really appreciated, I don't know, just seeing Rose grow up some and seeing her step into her own, and I guess also really get like the recognition for how powerful she is, because in the other two books she's done like big things and she's played a really important role in the plot and like the magic going on, and now she really gets her own story. I need Nova to have a book. There's too much left unanswered about Nova, and I am too attached to him to really leave it like that. I just want something good to happen to that poor boy, like permanently, not to be ripped away from him. I believe that's the character I care about the most in this series, and I wish that there was a little more closure with him. I don't know if Zoraida plans on giving us sort of like a spin-off story with Nova, or like a novella. I'll see myself out. This was it was a fun journey. I enjoyed the books. Like, are they the best books I've ever read in my life? No. Do I enjoy them for what they are? Yeah. I think Labyrinth Lost is like my favorite as far as the story itself, I think, or the adventure itself. Bruja Born, I think, is my favorite as far as like writing style and storytelling and like character building and character work. So I have moved on to Incendiary. I have been struggling to read, I'm going to be honest with you. The last couple days, since last week or so, since finishing Wayward Witch, I have struggled to focus to read. I mean, TMI, my period started and my brain was kind of all over the place, and I've also just been struggling to focus, and I've been feeling a lot more anxious. I think that's a lot to do with like the new medication I'm on. We can talk about that another time, but finally sat down and got a chunk of reading done. I finally put a dent in Incendiary. I'm 114 pages into this book and I'm really loving it so far. I have loved to see like kind of like the growth in the writing between this series and this book. The characters, I mean, I think the characters are older in this book, so there's like a more like of a maturity in this story. I am already pretty attached to, or at least invested in the story of the arc of these characters. I'm very invested in Des and Renata. Oh, also, I'm just talking about this book. I haven't even told you what this is about. This follows Renata Cordova, is that her name? Convita. I'm gonna read the flap because I'm not gonna do it any justice. It says, I am Renata Convita. I have lived 100 stolen lives. Now I live my own. Renata was only a child when she was kidnapped by the king's justice and brought to the luxurious palace of Andalusia. As a memory thief, that's what I was trying to think. She's a memory thief. The rarest and most feared of the magical Mariah, Renata was used by the crown to carry out the king's wrath, a siege that resulted in the deaths of thousands of her own people. Now Renata is one of the Whispers, rebel spies working against the crown. The Whispers may have rescued Renata years ago, but she cannot escape their mistrust and hatred, or the overpowering memories of the hundreds of souls she drained during her time in the palace. When Des, the commander of her unit and the boy she's grown to love, is taken captive by the notorious Principe Dorado, Renata must return to Andalusia and complete Des's top secret mission herself. Can she keep her cover even as she burns for vengeance against the brutal, enigmatic prince? Her life and the fate of the Maria depend on it. But returning to the palace stirs childhood memories long locked away. As Renata grows more deeply embedded in the politics of the royal court, she uncovers a secret in her past that could change the fate of the entire kingdom and end the war that has cost her everything. I am really intrigued as to where this is going. I'm intrigued to see more of like the prince, Castian, the prince, and how Ren is going to interact with him. I remember it being mentioned that this has sort of like Raylo vibes, and I am not necessarily a Raylo shipper, but like that sort of dynamic is intriguing to me, especially when there's a whole other party involved as well. I'm hoping that this is going to have a little bit of a found family element. You would think it was, since she's like part of this like rebel spy unit, but because they don't trust her, she's not included in this found family. So I'm curious to see like her start like forming solid relationships with the other people in her unit, and to get Des back and complete this mission. I guess I should say I'm hoping they're involved in the mission as well. So yeah, I'm going to hopefully read about 100 pages today because I'm running behind. Today is like the 23rd, and I'm like, can I fit 3 books in 10 days left of the month? Because I have this book to finish. I have to read The Inheritance of Orchidia Divina, and I also have to read the book for my book club this month, which is If I Had Your Face by Frances Cha. That's probably not going to be included in this vlog. Challenge accepted, I guess. Hello. Hello. Okay. So this video was filmed in August of 2022. Today is March 8th, maybe 9th, 2023. Yep, it is. By now, actually I say by now, I don't know when this vlog will go up, but you should know I had kind of disappeared off YouTube for like 6 months, and I'm slowly trying to get back into a creative space. I'm trying to get back. I'm trying to catch up, because in that time I was still filming vlogs and videos. I just never edited them. So as I edited this video, I realized I never closed it out. I never gave any final thoughts at the end. So that's what I'm going to do. And it's gonna be a bit of a struggle because it's March and I read these books in August. But that being said, the last time you saw, also I was trying for the past couple of months, I've been trying to find the notebook that I usually keep my reading notes in. Finally found it yesterday. I did not take a single note in August. So what I thought I was going to say about Incendiary and this whole journey project, we're just gonna wing it and hope for the best. The last clip was I was reading Incendiary. I was really enjoying Incendiary and I went on to love Incendiary. It was definitely my favorite book of this whole excursion. I loved it more than I realized. I'd heard a lot of really good reviews and like people calling it an underrated book, and they were not wrong. Enough people are not talking about this book. I'm really intrigued by where it's going. I fully intended to immediately jump into is the second book called Illusionary? I don't know. It's on my Amazon wishlist. I don't know. But I was doing other stuff. Or actually no, I was just trying to get by day to day. Anyway, so Incendiary, I guess I can't really go into a detailed review because I don't remember all of my full thoughts and things I wanted to talk about. But like I said, I am really intrigued as to where it's going. I'm intrigued as to the forming and changing and development of relationships and power dynamics and character arcs. I'm really intrigued about the shifting of power dynamics and like what we knew of the world after like one of the reveals at the end. I figured that was the reveal, but I still felt really excited and justified when it was confirmed. I really like Renata as a character. The magic system is pretty cool in this world. That's all I can think to say right now. I hate the fact that I never closed this out properly when I had the everything fresh in my mind. I kept saying I would come back to it, and then I just the idea of filming gave me anxiety. But yeah, I regret not taking notes. I regret this not being in the moment when this was like, when I was still like super excited for this project and this theme of the vlog. I did enjoy my reads in August. I enjoyed finishing the Brujahs series. I did talk about that and the fact and which my favorites were about that. It was cool to see the shift in writing between those books and this series, and just like the creativity. I could never. So yes, I'm gonna stop babbling. I think that's as far as cohesive thoughts go with me right now. I wish this ending was a little different, but hopefully next time, the next author that I do, the next author's works that I read, I will take very thorough notes and try to film in a timely manner. Anyway, thank you for watching. Let me know an author who you'd like to see me dedicate a reading month to. I'm thinking I'll probably do Taylor Jenkins' Read next because the Daisy Jones show just came out and I kind of want to read the book before I watch the show. And of course I'm going to watch the show because Sam Claflin is in it. Yes, I would like a sugar cube. Anyway, thank you for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you like me, feel free to subscribe. All my places are down below so you can follow me and I'll follow you back. And I'll see you very soon. Bye.